Hey everyone, it's Lindsay and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to comment below. So, if you clicked on this video and it's Friday, June 19th, then you're celebrating with me because today is my 30th birthday. So I'm actually filming this video like a week before my birthday, but for all purposes, you're watching it and it's the day of my birthday. Or if you're in the future, put it on your calendar, my birthday is June 19th. So today's my 30th birthday and I wanted to make a video about 30 life lessons that I've learned in 30 years. And this video was inspired by Jenna Marbles. She made this video when she turned 30 and I was really intrigued to watch it because she's a few years older than me and I wanted some wisdom about this big milestone. So here are my 30 life lessons I've learned in 30 years. Number 1. You do not feel like you're 30. You do not feel older. There is some point in your life, like as you're little, each age you feel like you're that age, and I think it starts tapering off like after 22. After that, there's like a point where you don't really feel like you're aging anymore, and that's probably because the soul doesn't have an age, so your maturity is growing, but then there's a point where you become an adult and you kind of level out. Like, yes, we are always learning and always becoming more mature, but then there just comes a point where you feel young at heart and you do not feel like you're aging anymore, if that makes sense. So if you're under 30 watching this or you're over 30, I just now firmly believe that even if you're 70 or you're 80, inside you do not feel the age that you are. So that for me is like a really weird feeling because you always think, this brings me to number 2, you're not always where you think you're gonna be when you're an adult. Like when you're little, you're like, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have this job, and by 30 years old, I'm gonna have $1 million, I'm gonna have this and this, and that's like how you perceive it as a kid and basically your entire life. But when you get to 30, you realize, just like what I said in tip number 1, in lesson number 1, you don't feel like you're any older, and it's really not as old as you thought it was. So you're not always where you expect to be when you're 30 years old. Like you think that you're gonna have life figured out, but you get there and you don't. That's like a really pivotal moment of something that I'm grasping to learn now because it makes me realize, which is number 3, happiness is often based off of expectations. So I realized I'm really hard on myself, and the times I'm hard on myself is because I had an expectation of where I wanted to be. Now that's not to have confused with like setting a goal for a vision board. We need to set goals, we kind of need to have timelines, but also if you do not reach a goal, if you're not exactly where you want to be at a certain time, do not let that be a reason that you're unhappy. I was just watching a show on Netflix, it's called 100 Different Humans, and they test 100 subjects on different things, and one of them was happiness. And it showed that people in their 20s and in their 60s were at their happiness. And why? Because of their expectations. Think about it. When you're in your 20s, your expectation, even leading up to your 20s, your expectations is just, I need to go to school, I need to learn. In your 20s, your expectations is, I'm 20, I'm going to be having fun. And then in your 60s, your expectation is, I'm going to retire, I don't have to do anything anymore. So if those are your expectations, of course you're going to be happy. But it starts when you're 30. You have an expectation that you're going to have a career, make all this money, have a family moving forward, take care of children, and that you have to work really hard. You have all these expectations and things you need to do that society is telling you to do. And so therefore, you're often feeling unhappy if you're not meeting those markers at the right time. And those markers could be a job, money, getting married, kids. If you haven't done that at these markers that you've decided for yourself, you feel unhappy. So something I've learned is try to get rid of those markers. It's great to have an idea of when you want to hit a goal, but also do not let those goals define you, because if we let those goals define us, then we are not going to be happy. Life never goes exactly the way we want it to be, but often if we let it flow, we will be somewhere we didn't expect or even better. Do not waste your time on negative people. Oh my gosh, this took me so long to figure out, especially in relationships. I would waste so much time wanting a guy to like me or wondering why he wouldn't treat me right and letting it get me down. And this can go for anybody in your life who gives you negative energy. I've had other people be mean to me, a lot of different experiences. Whatever applies to you, think of that. But for me, for my context, my biggest life lesson was in relationships. And I kept being like, if only I was better, they wouldn't be mean to me. I would let this negativity consume me to the point where I would get sick, and I could not let go of it because I wanted to win these people over so that they would be nice to me. And it was like this whole cycle. And one day I had an epiphany, which is number 4 life lessons, is when we let go of what doesn't serve us, we have more room to love others. Now, I learned this from my friend who passed away. I want to give a shout out to him. I had a friend in college, and he was the most amazing person that you could ever meet in your life. And I always wondered what his secret was. How did he have room to have straight A's? He could make anyone his friend. He was always happy. He like created frats. He created like motivational communities. Like, I had just never seen a person who had so much love, time, and energy. He lived on the level that we're all aspiring to be. And I always wondered what his secret was. And one day after he passed away, his mom had all his friends meet up, and she said, do you wonder why he had so much room? What his secret was? And I was thinking, yes, I need to know. What was his secret? I want to be like him. And she said, his secret is he let go of what didn't serve him, and he had more room for love. And when she said that, and because I knew him, it clicked. It finally made me realize that when we put our energy into negative thoughts, negative things, negative people, all of that energy is being used there. And it's not being used here with the things that you want, the happiness, the relationships, the love for yourself, the love for others. So as soon as you say, wow, negative energy, you are taking up too much time, I'm going to let you go. You let that go and look at all of this room you have for love for yourself, love for others, to be a better person. Number 4, what you believe you receive. So if I could go back to my younger self, I would go, Lindsay, you were right. Everything you felt in your heart came true. I don't know if you know the story, but when I was like 7, I saw the movie Good Burger, and I had this weird feeling that I could not sit in a movie. I was so uncomfortable watching a movie, and my mom asked me why, and I said, I don't know why. I have no idea. I'm supposed to work with the people in this movie. I'm not supposed to be like an actor or anything, but like I'm supposed to be in a room with famous people and do something with them and be equal and make a difference in the world at the capacity that they do. At the time, I had no idea like why I felt that way. I wanted to be a pet store owner when I was 9, so I don't know how that could like be anything, but like fast forward, and the path of my life led me to be an entertainment reporter where I was working directly with these people. It's so weird because I had this weird feeling in my heart that I didn't know why when I was 7, and I carried that. I still have to this day, this weird passion like I'm supposed to do something. When that something did happen, it showed me, Lindsay, what you felt in your heart is true. You do not need to prove yourself to anybody. I always felt like I had to show myself, prove my worth. And yes, you have to prove that you're a hard worker, but you also don't have to prove to people what you know in your heart. If you really believe you're going to be something and do something, you will receive that if you take action. What we believe, we receive. Trust your instinct. Which leads me, do not be afraid to say how you feel. This is something that I will credit to my mom. She always taught me to stand up for myself, to say if I'm feeling uncomfortable, and to not let others bring me down. I used to be afraid. I mean, think about when you're little. Like, I was afraid to even ask the teacher or a friend at their house if I could use their bathroom. You know, it started at that degree, just not being afraid to use the bathroom. You know, and that carries to the rest of our lives. Don't be afraid to ask for that raise. Don't be afraid to tell someone if they hurt your feelings. Like, I truly follow what I learned in DARE class when I tell someone, you hurt my feelings when you did this, and this is why. It would make me feel better if this happened. You will feel better about yourself on the inside because you will not have the burdens of these weights weighing you down. Eat when you're hungry and sleep when you're tired. This is so important, and I didn't realize that other people don't do this. My mom always taught me, you need to eat when you're hungry, you need to take care of yourself, you need to sleep. I did a video on this, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm gonna link that below for more information, but when your needs are not met, you're not able to focus on other stuff. It's similar to focusing only on the negative energy that I spoke about earlier. If you're only focusing on how you're hungry because that's your basic human need to survive, or only focusing on how exhausted you are, like you need these things to survive. All of this time right here is being taken up. So you can't focus on the things over there. It's the same thing. So when you meet this need, you have more time to be a better person. Number 8 life lesson is pain equals growth. That goes for physically and mentally. So something I learned early on, I always have deep thoughts, is a lot of times we'll be like really sad and it'll be so unbearable and so painful, and we'll sit there being like, why is this happening to me? We're gonna feel like we can't get up. And that's because we're getting stronger. Just like when we're working out, why is our brain any different? When we're working out, we get to that point of fatigue. We're like, one more rep, let's do it. I'm going to have abs. It's so uncomfortable, but that point of being uncomfortable is the point of growth. That is also when it's happening in your mind. So if there's ever a moment in your life that you feel like you are in so much pain and you're having a hard time and you feel like you can't go forward, remember, ooh, I'm growing right now. I am leveling up to a point that I was not at before. And even though it's really hard right now, eventually I will be able to tackle this and I will have more energy and time to deal with it, and it won't be so hard. I had a great interview with OMG It's Firefox where she talks about how she had really bad panic attacks all the time, and when she was more equipped to deal with them after getting the help she needed, she was able to control a panic attack coming on. And it wasn't that the panic attack wasn't as bad as it was before. She was just more equipped and stronger to deal with it. And I have experienced that myself too. So that's a message of something that I would like you to learn, that pain equals growth. Life lesson number 9 is people want to feel loved and accepted. We all want to feel accepted for who we are. We all want to feel loved. So if we can come into this world knowing that and give love and acceptance to others, we will feel so much better. Not only will that be returned to us, but we're gonna feel more that way. That brings me to number 10. The way people treat you is a reflection of how they treat themselves. I didn't understand this when I was little. I would always cry to my mom, why is this person being mean to me? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? And my mom would say, well, they have this going on at home, or they have that. Like, you feel happy, you feel stable, you don't treat yourself mean, so why would you treat others mean? But other people are mad and mean to themselves, and so the way they're feeling inside is often the way that they're going to treat others. And it's not because, there's a great interview by Matt Kahn on YouTube, one of my favorite people that I follow, please follow him. It's not because they really want to hurt you. Most people are really like not evil, I truly believe. It's because they're hurting inside and they want you to feel their pain because they feel alone. Back to how everyone wants to feel understood. And somewhere along the lines, they're not communicating it properly. It seems like humans, we should be evolved enough to know how to communicate our pain, but we're not always able to articulate that. And so a lot of people will articulate their pain as being mean to someone else because they want you to feel the pain that they're feeling inside. So remember, if somebody is mean to you, realize that they are hurting inside and try to meet them with love and kindness. And also find that in yourself, because I know when I get in a fight with people, I yell at them. I want them to feel my pain too when it feels like someone's not listening. So try to come with that at love and try to realize when you're that type of person as well, and try to not take that energy personally, because that's going to bring you down. Take it as a time to grow and try to gain some insight into other people. Life lesson number 11, do not base your self-worth off of external factors. Okay, so I also have a dose of bliss about this with Anna Akana, we'll link below, but this is something I thought about really when I was younger. I would always question, why do I want to dye my hair blonde? Why do I want to wear makeup? Why do I want to be a reporter? Is it because someone else wants this for me? Is it because in society this looks cool? Is it because I want money? Like, what are my motives, you know? Would I want to do these things if society didn't exist? These are questions I'm always asking myself. Obviously, to a degree, we're gonna want to do something because society. Like, if society didn't exist, obviously, I probably wouldn't dye my hair. I wouldn't wear makeup. Like, if there was no one to pay attention, what would I base what I liked off of? I can't even tell you. But these are things I fact checked myself. I always have to look within myself and ask myself these questions of if the motive inside feels like it's a right intent or a wrong intent, because a lot of times we're seeking external happiness and we're never going to be happy basing off of external things. Like, those are wants and passions and things we should strive to, but they're never going to fill us on the inside. It is our internal that is truly going to make us happy. If we truly feel strong inside, if we truly love ourselves, that's the number one thing to work on, and everything else will fall into place. But if we're trying to replace our self-love for making money or a career or popularity, we will not be happy. So ask yourself the question, are you basing your happiness off of external factors or off of internal factors? Always base off of internal. Life lessons number 12. Vision boards actually work if you put your goals in action. So my senior year of college, I was like, I need to get my life in order, I need to get a job, I need to manifest it, and I stumbled upon the documentary The Secret. I've always felt something like the law of attraction. I've always been able to somehow manifest what I want, but I didn't know there was like a method behind it. That's when I started finding out from the Secret that there were techniques to harness that ability by making vision boards and doing affirmations, and I started researching other successful people and what they did. And I found that they take their vision boards and they think about it and they put it into action. And so I started doing that. And the moment I started doing that is the moment all my dreams actually started coming true. I would put on my mirror that I am beautiful, I'm an entertainment reporter, I'm winning awards, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'd put it on my vision boards. And all of a sudden it would manifest so fast. I've had some things manifest within a week. It's crazy. Some people will be shocked, like, oh, they'll tell me just do this, and I'll be like, okay, and I'll do it and be like, hey, by the way, I did this. You know, it's crazy to think of the abilities that we really have to make our dreams come true. We really can do that if we put these thoughts into motion, into action, and put them down in fun, creative ways. It seems so simple, but really, the more we think about what we want and the different ways we use to visualize it, we start to know how to do those things. Life lesson number 13. There is magic and beauty in the world. I have another video about this. Again, I have so many, I'm gonna like blow in this video, but I have a video about like how to find meaning in your life. There is so much magic in the world if you know to look for it. Albert Einstein had a quote that there's two kinds of people in the world: those who don't believe in miracles and those who do. So we need to become those people who believe in miracles. And how do we find miracles? How do we do these things? We put meaning. Like, what's the meaning of life? The meaning is what we give it. And that's really the secret. And so we can look at two things differently. You can see a penny on the ground and see a boring, dirty penny, or you can see it as a penny for your thoughts and good luck. What I've done my whole life is like annotating a book, but annotating life. I have symbols for things I see. Like, a lot of people see 1111, or maybe you see a praying mantis. I don't know, something you see. Give those things meaning, and all of a sudden you will see there's this like language of the universe where there's just magical moments everywhere, and you will find other people who believe in these magical moments, and when you're all together it becomes so magical. I mean, go through my channel and you can watch so many videos of magical things I've achieved by meeting magical people, like things of like going on a private jet, going to the Oscars, going on crazy vacations, like learning how to surf. I feel so grateful, so lucky to have become in contact with these people that I have met to give me these messages. But you truly have to see the magic around you and appreciate it to understand it when you see it. I have a great book I want to recommend too. If you haven't read it, it's called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's about someone going on a journey, finding the language of the universe. It's not a true story, but I'm telling you, like, if you like law of attraction, if you like my channel, it's not even a long book. It kind of explains what I'm talking about, and you can apply that to your life, and it was really a life-changing read for me. Life lesson 14. Pain brings you to the present moment. I had not thought about that. A lot of times we're like sad and we're like, this is so uncomfortable, I don't want to be here right now. But what is pain doing? It's bringing us to the moment. It's making us alive, present moment, which we do not live in most of the time. We're either living in the past or the future. But tell me, where are you living when you're on an airplane and there's turbulence? You are instantly brought into that moment. Pain is here to remind us that we need to live in the present moment. Don't wait to be in pain to be brought back into the moment. Try to live the best in the now. It's okay to think back, it's okay to think of the future, but we only have now. We need to live now. Number 15, Mom is always right, and I know my dad will get jealous, so dads are also right too. My mom would always tell me things, so would my dad. I'd be like, how do you know? How do you know? And my mom would be like, well, I already lived it, I know. And somehow, I don't know, when you're little, you're like, how could you understand? You're not living through the same moment as you, but it's a mom, I mean, your parents really have lived things and they've had life experience and they do know and they do have your best interest, and I really value what my parents say. You know, 99% of the time they're right, 1% of the time I'm right, but you know, they have life experience and they have things that they've learned that they're passing on to you. So definitely trust their word and listen to what they say, but also trust yourself. But your parents are, my mom is always right, my dad is always right. Life lesson number 16, do not be afraid to be yourself. This is something I learned when I was younger. You know how there were like those popular kids at school? So I was friends with a few of them, but I felt like I was more nerdy, and we would go shopping. And I would be so scared to show them what I wanted to wear because I thought they'd say, ew, why do you want to buy that shirt? Like, you know when you're shopping with someone and you're about to point something out and they're like, ew, that's so ugly. And then you're like, never mind, I'm not even gonna point that out. That's how I felt. And I was so scared to just be like, yeah, this is what I like, I want to try it on. Like, I literally was to the point where I never went shopping. I let my mom shop for me, and I covered myself in a North Face jacket because I did not want anyone to judge me by what I was wearing and not like it. And I remember thinking, like, why do they pick out what they want and they just say this and that, and like, I might not like what they're wearing, but I'm not saying that, and this is not to talk about like, don't tell, I mean, you can tell people whatever you think, but what I realized was those people were considered popular because they weren't afraid to be themselves. They weren't afraid to speak their truths or say what they liked or didn't like. They had an opinion. So really, what makes you popular, what makes you cool, what makes you successful and stand out is what makes you unique. So love who you are, love the uniqueness about you, and don't be afraid to let that shine. And it took me a while to realize that what was different about me is what makes me special. Like, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. And so if you go to people and you say, I'm awkward, I'm shy, I'm this, whatever you tell them you are is what they're going to believe. So if you walk into a room and you say you are who you want to be, like, I'm a confident person, I'm a TV host, I'm an entrepreneur, I do this, and you're confident about it, people are going to believe what you tell them. So put your best foot forward, believe you are that person, and present yourself to the world confidently that way. Life lesson number 17, the key to finding love is to love yourself. Everybody tells me this. I never truly understood this. When you truly are happy with yourself, others will be attracted to you. You know that person when you walk into a room and they're just having like a really good time and they're just letting their light shine, and you're like, I want to hang out with that person. They're having the most fun. That's exactly what it is. When you are not needing something, people want to be around you. When you are just giving, loving yourself, and just living in your truth and enjoying yourself, people want to be around you, and you become a magnet and it comes to you. And that's what finding love by loving yourself really truly means. Life lesson number 19, you can write your own ending. Okay, what do I mean by this? So for me, when I've had really bad breakups with people who really hurt me, you always want to have like that closure with that person. You never feel closure. You want to keep talking to them. You want to figure it out. You somehow think there's some sort of thing that's going to happen where you're going to let go of what happened. And when that closure doesn't come, you keep getting in this vicious cycle. At least that's what happened to me. So something that I realized to do is write my own happy ending. You know, sometimes you need to put the phone down and you need to just write a happy ending for you and the other person of how it ends, or not. Like, you can just make up whatever you want. Like, oh, this person's sad about crying over me. I mean, I think you should wish the best for someone, but I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I wrote a story like that, you know, write your own ending and move forward with your life. Like, you can write, it's exactly the same thing. Like, you can write the story of your life. There's a new page, a new chapter. Let's write that story. And sometimes we have to visualize the ending that we want that we didn't get so we can move forward. And that's something that works for me with moving forward with things that I'm having trouble with. Life tip number 20. Relationships can be like an addiction. I know a lot of things I'm talking about are relationships, but I had a lot of relationship issues, which I haven't opened up about on this channel much yet, but actually it was just one relationship. It's not a lot, but it just really impacted my life, and I had become addicted to a toxic relationship. And my friends and I have talked about it, and I'm gonna make a video about it in the future, but it's called trauma bonds. And so you can be addicted like a drug to a person, even if they're treating you badly. And I'm telling you, like, I had gotten to the point, like, I'm not gonna talk to them, and then I would talk to them, and I'm like, oh my God, I messed up already. Like, the only way I can explain it is it really felt like I was addicted to a drug, and it was my lowest point. And having the realization that it's like an addiction sometimes when you're in an unhealthy relationship helped me break that pattern. It made me realize each day, I literally had to be like, I'm not going to talk to this person today. I'm going to move forward with my life. I'm not going to let this person bring me down. And each day, I would literally like pick up the phone and say, nope, today I'm not gonna do this. I would call someone else instead, and each day for a very long time, I would have to do that. It's really hard sometimes to break negative cycles that we are in, whether it's relationship or something else, but each day we can move forward and we can become better. Life lesson number 21. If you feel like you can't get over something, help one other person. That's something that helped me get through so much. It was an epiphany that I had. Sometimes you just can't do something. It helped me to put that for somebody else. So I couldn't do it for me, but I could do it for you. So whenever I thought about not being able to get past something, that I still do this to this day, like when I feel like I can't get through something, I can't move forward, I can't get past it, I do it for you watching. Whatever it is, whether it's a relationship problem, I do it for my future kids. I do it for someone else who's in a toxic relationship. If it's achieving my goal, I do it for you. I do it because I want to inspire somebody else that they can get through these hardships as well. So if I can do it, I can help someone else. And that's really helped me find a driving force to get through things that I thought that I couldn't. Life lesson number 22, this one I learned from Tony Robbins. Surround yourself with those you want to be like. We are who we surround ourselves with. So if you're around negative people and people who aren't go-getters and people aren't happy, you are going to be that way too. They always say, like, try not to be the smartest person in the room. Like, you always want to surround yourself with people who are going to challenge you, make you better, happier, stronger, and people that make you feel good about yourself. If you want to be somewhere, surround yourself with people who are doing that and learn from them. Make it part of your life, and you'll see that you'll become that person as well. Life lesson number 23. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. I have so many videos, I'm going to link that below, called I asked for what I wanted and this is what happened. Everyone's always like, Lindsay, how do you get what you want? Literally, like 99% of the time, I asked for it. That's literally all I do. Like, if you don't ask, the answer is 100% no. If you do ask, you have a 50% shot. Most of the time, people will say yes, and if they say no, just make yourself available and one day they'll remember you. So ask for what you want. There's no dream too big, no thing you can't ask for really. Like, you want to work for somebody you think is too hard to get a hold of, reach out to them on LinkedIn. You never know what's going to happen. Ask for what you want and you'll get it. Life lesson number 24. Don't be afraid to quit. The converse of asking for what you want. Sometimes in life, we have to quit things, and there's a number of reasons for that. A dream can change, or you could be in a situation where people aren't treating you the way you deserve. It's okay, both. Like, we can have a vision board, and once we achieve our dream, we want to do a new dream. Our dream might change of what we want. What we want changes throughout our life. Or we may have a dream and it still might be our dreams, but people could be treating you really badly, and you should never let people treat you less than how you deserve. So don't be afraid to take a step off the ledge and quit something if it truly isn't serving you or making you happy. Take a leap. Same thing as when you want something, it's the same goes for leaving something. Do not be afraid to do it. Which, that actually is my life tip. I'm like combining them all into one. But life tip number 25 is don't let anyone treat you less than you deserve. I know I said that before, but truly don't. There's people that come into our lives, and we've all been around them. There's real people, there's fake people, there's just people that come and they don't make you feel good being who you are. And there's people that make you feel like you can be yourself. Surround yourself with those who make you feel like you can be yourself. Also, be yourself with yourself. Like, have that kindness for you too. You know, do not let anyone treat you less than. If someone's making you not feel good about yourself, it's okay to cut them out of your lives if you have to. You know, if you're in that situation, you need to surround yourself, like I've been saying, with love and light and positivity. And sometimes we have to cut out. When we subtract the negative, we end up with the positive. Number 26, life lesson. If you are sad, talk about it. I kind of said this earlier, don't be afraid to speak up, but a lot of times people are sad and they'll sit there and they'll not say anything, and it will fester and fester and fester until all of a sudden they explode. Just say how you're feeling. A lot of times people don't know that they're making you feel that way. and you have to explain it to them so that they can understand. For me, I feel closer when someone can open up. So instead of thinking that someone's going to come at you for saying something negative, believe that it's a way to feel closer, because I feel closer when people can come to me with things they're sad about and things that they need, because you're opening up to me and I'm opening up to you and we're being vulnerable, and this helps us feel safe. Life lesson number 27, be persistent with what you want. I've literally emailed somebody for 5 years. I have a video about this, how I almost manifested $100,000. For 5 years, I emailed the same person. Finally, they got back to me and offered me the potential for $100,000. Like, just be persistent in a polite way for what you want. Life lesson number 28. You are not the only person who feels left out or unnoticed. For me, this was really important because growing up, I always felt like no one knew my heart. Nobody noticed me. I felt shy and uncomfortable and just like I didn't fit in and just different. And I felt that way because I would have the thoughts that I'm talking about on my YouTube channel. Like, I would just think of this world in this way, and then people would be mean to me, and I couldn't understand why other people weren't like that. And I felt so alone. And as I get older, I realize everyone feels that way. Everyone at some point in their life, like I said earlier, we all just want to be loved and we want to be understood. And all this time I sat around crying, being like, why am I the only one going through this? Like, this isn't happening to anyone else. Like, it is. A lot of people are just focused on their own lives. And for me, not that I want other people to feel that way, but it gave me a little bit comfort knowing that I'm not alone and other people feel that way too. Life lesson number 29, back to like relationships. I wrote this down, so this is just the order they popped up in my head that I'm saying to you. You always think growing up you need like a long-term relationship, like in high school, even like junior high, you're like, I need a boyfriend. I wanted one in high school. I didn't have a long-term boyfriend. I wanted one in college. I didn't have a long-term boyfriend. I had like one long-term boyfriend before I was in the relationship that I'm into now. I've literally had 2 long-term actual relationships my whole life at 30 years old. And looking back, I'm actually grateful for that because I had so much fun in high school and college being single. I got to like meet people and have fun. And not that it's not fun having those things, but looking back, I'm kind of glad I got to have like an untouched high school and college experience where I could just meet people and have a good time. And after college, I had plenty of time to meet people, and I knew more of what I wanted after all these experiences, meeting other people and learning what I liked and what I didn't like. And it also taught me the confidence of how to be treated in a relationship and how to speak up for what I want. And basically all the life lessons I'm talking to you about, by the time I graduated, I had learned a lot of these, and it got me into a better relationship. And looking back, I don't know why I was rushing all these things. And life lesson number 30, live in the present moment, be happy, and be grateful for where you're at. Being 30 years old, it really makes me think all the things I talked about in the beginning of this video. Am I where I want to be? And it's scary. You think about things. I'm getting older. I'm getting to the point where like when you're little, you thought about being here and you imagined it however you were, however you wanted, but it was so far away, and now I'm here. And I think about how my parents are getting older, what decisions I'm gonna make. Things feel so much more permanent. And it kind of gets me into a negative thought space. And I right now am at a point where I'm kind of taking a step back and realizing I need to live in the moment and love where I'm at right now. Every moment in your life has purpose, and we need to be happy now. I can't be so hard on myself. I should be celebrating. Like, I'm turning 30. Like my mom always says, like as people get older, they're like, oh, I don't want to celebrate my birthday. I don't want to get older. My mom always says, well, what's the alternative? It's way better than the alternative. And her alternative means dying. Like, it is, we should be so lucky to age. We should be so lucky to have these experiences. And even though, you know, I feel all these ways, I wouldn't change the way that my life has been. I'm really happy for where I'm at, and realizing how hard I've been on myself all of this time to try to be someone by this time. And, you know, at the end of the day, when you watch on my YouTube channel, my life story, you always realize that you always were who you wanted to be at the beginning. And that's something I'm starting to learn right now. So those are my 30 life lessons in 30 years of things that I have learned. Thank you guys so much for always tuning into my channel and supporting me all of this time, always lifting me up when I need it. Thank you for watching my birthday video. Please comment below what you found the most interesting thing that I learned in the last 30 years, or something that you've learned to contribute. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna get to my birthday now. See you later. Bye.